Hey, it's your professional sarcastic man and seeker of attention, Oz Chris, here with reviews on Justice League number 16 and Shazam number 2. So, starting off with Justice League, who are the children of Mars? So, John learns a bit about his past and a bit about the Perpetua, the totality from the female Martian that's on Thanagar, the Thanagar Prime Martian. So, we start off with a little bit of the history about the Malthusians finding out about the seven energies of creation, about Perpetua, and I'm just going to say it like up right now. I hate the fact that the Malthusians always have to find out everything about the past. They find out about the emotional spectrum. They find out about the life entity and that Earth is technically the center of the universe because that's where the life entity was born on. Like, and probably several other things as well. It's like, why did the Malthusians, they have to be the only ones that find out everything? I know they're supposed to be like one of the first, or at least one of the biggest, like ancient, like civilizations that hugely prospered in the past, but no, they tried to discover everything, all of that. But like, does it always have to be the Malthusians? Can't we have some other race? It's like, why do they have to find out everything? It's like, no. You there, Tamarins, you stay away from that. We want to find that out. We'll keep it a secret from everyone, okay? But you don't touch that, okay? Please, it's us, we're Malthusians. We need to know everything. But continuing on, so John is learning more about the past with the totality and the Perpetua, and also a little about himself while Kendra is facing off against Shaira and the Savage Hawkman, trying to get some sense to him, but he's an empty husk. It's not going to work. While John is confronted by the rest of the Green Lanterns, trying to justify what he's doing. So here we go into a little bit of lore, all this new lore that Snyder has been setting up since No Justice. So as the Thanagar Prime Martian says, time passed, the Malthusians evolved into the Guardians of the Galaxy, not Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Universe, and all knowledge of Perpetua was hidden here on Thanagar Prime, but still they feared she would rise again. There was an aspect of the myth, the story of a great army, dangerous predatory race that dominated her universe. The Guardians feared that army might rise, and in time the Guardians noticed a scar traced in the cosmos backward and forward in time, pointing at the solar system she would return to rebuild her perfect warriors once again, which was that whole totality thing from the first story arc, how like it was going across the universe and it could be seen at every point in time. That's what it is. I'm assuming it is. It sounds exactly like it, so I'm going to say it is. So you see, John, her race of warriors was built from the DNA of humankind and Martiankind blended together. And when the universe was put right and Perpetua was locked away, our species were split apart. Humans carried the fire that Perpetua sowed into them, but they were left weak in body and mind. Martians carried the power she instilled, but feared the fire of passion in all its forms. So kind of a slight-ish retconning a bit, and but some humans discovered about Perpetua's army, tried to re-engineer it. The abominations formed by the human scientists, they would never have been possible without the source of DNA they pulled from Mars, and that turned out to be John. So it's not kind of, it is a slight retcon, but it still keeps the whole Martian thing, and I'm assuming that that's a white Martian. It sounds about right. It could be wrong, but I'm going to assume is what the predatory race was like, the white Martians, but probably much more dangerous. But we'll see how it goes. So he learns the truth about himself while Shaira and Kendra and the Savage Hawkman continue to fight, but the Thanagarian Martian is beginning to die, and she leaves everything that she has learned, and she is told to John with him as Thanagar Prime begins to disintegrate. Shaira has been using the Absorbicon and her to create this reality where Thanagar Prime is back in its prime, and the Savage Hawkman is alive again. Shaira is trying to trying to keep it alive, but she has to move on. She can't keep kind of living in the past, and she has to let go of the members of her race that died, especially the Savage Hawkman. And while they're trapped inside, they're saved by Starman and the rest of the Justice League. And a nice little quippy, sarcastic Batman line here is Dinah says about Starman, "He could hear you, John, all the way across the universe. He has the power of the totality inside of him, burning bright as a star." And Batman just says, "Hence the name." I don't know, I just found that funny. He's like, I mean, Diana, why do you think he's called Starman? Of course, see, inside him, it's burning bright as a star. Starman, it's literally in the name. So, but Starman's mission there is to reconnect Shaira's life back to Kendra, as she is a previous iteration of her, and he reveals that the totality broke the chain of resurrection, hence why there's two Hawkgirls there. So he reconnects that portion of her life back to Kendra, and Shaira is still allowed to be kept alive, her own separate person, in order to bring Thanagar Prime back properly, not in the way she wanted to, but back properly, as it still has a part to play for the totality, Perpetua, etc. So, while it is lore heavy, which I expected to be, I definitely like this issue. It is good to know a bit more of the lore. Art, as always, is great by Jim Chung and the team. But yeah, expect it to be a bit more lore heavy for the next two issues, the annual number 1, and issue number 17. I've seen Scott say that those 3 issues will be exploring stuff that has been started since No Justice. I know the annual's dealing with the Omega Titans that were introduced in No Justice, and plus more about Starman, the totality, all of that. Because I know there's apparently something called like Justice Doom War going on sometime in the future later on. So it's all leading up to that. So it's going to get lore heavy in the next just couple of issues. So on to Shazam number 2. So, yep, Shazam and the 7 Magic Lands Part 2, written by Jeff Johns, art by Marco Santucci, colorist Micah Taith. I will say, before I go into it, the art here is very close to Gary Frank's art in Doomsday Clock. So, unless they actually have taken over, but I'm still pretty sure Gary Frank's doing the art. But considering how close the art is to that, to deal with this whole delay issue because Gary Frank takes his time, they could have just had this art team. Unless they are currently on it, I don't know. I need to recheck it, but still. So, on to Shazam number 2. So, Billy and the rest of his family discover the subway that leads to various different magic lands, and they're kind of debating on which one to go, and Freddy decides, well, let's all go to Funland. Funland Express, let's have some fun. We saved the city, we deserve some time off. So they all aboard the Funland Express they go, and head straight off into Funland. And also we're reintroduced to DOctor Sivana, and inside of him is this worm called Mr. Mind that somehow they're going to tie into the plot afterwards. But the main plot is just, for this issue, is just the Marvel family heading to Funland, exploring at least one of these magic lands, while back in the real world, Sivana and Mr. Mind are hatching a plan, and Billy's real dad is there. is back, which they don't really touch upon. That was at the end of the first issue. That hey, I'm Billy's real dad, and okay, sure, whatever, okay. So everyone's enjoying their fun in Funland, but you get a little bit of a indication that not everything is what it seems to be. As a group of kids say, "Happy birthday! I have this huge cake for this kid." And it's like, nope, I don't want it. It's going to be a classic. It's not all what it seems to be. It's probably not Funland. It's probably Evil Land. And I'll leave it there. So it wasn't a bad issue, but I will say my main criticism of this is that Billy Batson, as he is now called, Shazam, is really sidelined in this. This is technically his book. It is called Shazam, because of the New 52. He is called Shazam. The title is called Shazam, so it should be about Shazam and Billy Batson. But he is sidelined. He's not the main character of this issue, of issue number 2. It's more of the family. The family are the main characters, and I don't particularly have a problem with that. But Billy should have more of a role in his own book, if you know what I mean. Yeah, if the title is called Shazam, and why has Billy hardly got any lines or hardly have anything to do with this book? So that would be my main criticism. But aside from that, I still liked it. The art is amazing as always. I'm not a huge Captain Marvel / Shazam fan. I'm not particularly familiar with the old Captain Marvel, the first New 52 Shazam series. I know from what I've been told, a lot of people don't like. They're not particularly fond of Jeff Johns' Shazam series in the New 52 because it changed quite a bit with Captain Marvel. So I could kind of understand that, but from me I don't have fan glasses on because I'm not I'm not a fan. I'm not familiar with Captain Marvel and all that, the history in the past and all that. With that, I still liked issue number 2, so I'm going to continue, see where it goes on. I do like, Jeff Johns is one of my favorite writers, so I'll see how it goes from there. So thank you all for watching. That's Justice League number 16 and Shazam number 2. Shazam number 2. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.